The front office in Chicago just made a move that has the entire building buzzing and the city in total shock. We are talking about a fundamental shift in the offensive philosophy for this upcoming season. Nobody expected the trigger to be pulled this fast, but the financial reality of the salary cap has forced a hand that many hoped would stay pat. This isn't just a minor tweak to the depth chart. It is a total reconstruction of the receiving room that leaves a massive void at the top. The impact on the locker room starts right now. Jahdae Walker is now staring at a massive opportunity, but the road to get here was paved by a move that honestly hurts the soul of this offense. The Bears have officially traded star wide receiver DJ Moore to the Buffalo Bills. In exchange, Chicago received a second-round pick while sending back Moore and a fifth-rounder. This move clears a staggering $16.5 million off the books for the front office. Moore was the heart of the passing game, finishing second in yards and leading in touchdowns. He was the versatile chess piece that could line up anywhere on the field. But here is the problem. The salary cap situation became too fickle to ignore as free agency approached. The leadership viewed Moore as a luxury they could no longer afford if they wanted to build a balanced roster. Now it gets serious because that production has to be replaced immediately. Many fans are looking at the young guys already in the building. Jahdae Walker showed flashes of brilliance as an undrafted free agent last year, coming up clutch in massive moments when the lights were the brightest. He has the physical tools to compete, but the jump from a rotational player to a primary target is a different beast entirely. Can he actually handle the pressure of being the guy? The team also brought in Khalif Raymond, though my sources indicate his primary role will remain on special teams and as a gadget player. This changes everything for the offensive dynamic, because the reliability of a veteran like Moore is simply gone. The coaching staff is high on Walker's development, but relying on an unproven second-year player is a massive gamble for a team trying to compete in a tough division. We are talking about a player who has never seen double teams or primary coverage schemes from opposing defensive coordinators. This creates a glaring hole that the draft will likely have to address, but with so many defensive needs, the timing is precarious. The front office is betting that they can find a diamond in the rough later in the draft to supplement this group. However, the search for speed and size has led them to some very interesting names that aren't on the national radar yet. But what if the real solution isn't even about the current roster or the upcoming top prospects? If you are really following this team, you know that moves like this define the entire decade for a franchise. Real fans already know that the salary cap is a monster that eats talent, but did the front office go too far this time? We are tracking every single development from inside the building to keep you ahead of the game. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of our insider updates. Do you think Jahdae Walker is ready to step up as the primary receiver for this offense right now? Dejon Stribling is a name you need to memorize right now, because the Bears are clearly doing their homework on the Ole Miss standout. My sources confirmed that the team hosted him on a top 30 visit just yesterday, signaling a very high level of interest. But what if I told you this isn't even the biggest problem? 7 other teams are also circling Stribling, making him one of the most coveted mid-round prospects in this class. He brings a potent combination of size at 6'2" and elite speed, with a 4.36 40-yard dash. That is exactly the kind of vertical threat this offense is missing after the trade. While the current roster has talent, they lack that specific gear to blow the top off a defense. Stribling is widely considered a day 2 prospect, likely going around pick 89, where Chicago is currently sitting. It is fun to envision him in this system, especially with the creative play calling we expect to see this fall. But the pressure is mounting because if they wait too long, they might miss out on the physical profiles they desperately need. Stribling represents the high upside gamble that could pay off massively if he adjusts to the pro game quickly. He has shown an ability to win contested catches and use his frame to shield defenders, which are traits that translated well from his time in the SEC. The Bears' interest is not just a smokescreen. They need a player who can stretch the field to open up the intermediate routes for the rest of the unit. This creates a high-stakes situation in the 3rd round where the front office must decide if they prioritize the defense or replace the speed they just lost. If they pass on Stribling, the options become even more volatile and raw. The competition for these specific athletic profiles is fierce this year. Every team is looking for that next big-bodied vertical threat who can change a game in one play. Chicago knows that losing a veteran like Moore requires adding an elite athletic profile to keep defenses honest. The front office is looking for a ball of clay that can be molded into a superstar. But as we look deeper into the draft board, there is another prospect with an even more familiar lineage who might be the actual target they are falling in love with behind closed doors. Bryce Lance is a name that brings an eerie sense of déjà vu to anyone who follows the draft closely. He is built in a similar mold to Stribling, standing over 6'3" and clocking in with a blazing 4.34 40-yard dash. The comparisons to Christian Watson are impossible to ignore, especially since they both came out of North Dakota State. Lance is an incredible athlete, but the word around the league is that he is still very raw. This creates a fascinating conflict for the Bears' decision-makers. Do they go with a more polished prospect earlier, or do they wait for a project with a sky-high ceiling like Lance? The upside is undeniable. He has the potential to become a dominant deep threat if he can refine his route running and secure his hands at the catch point. However, the risk is just as high. We have seen these athletic marvels struggle to adapt to the complexity of NFL defenses before. For a team that just traded away a sure thing and more, taking a flyer on a raw prospect could be seen as a desperate move or a stroke of genius. The impact on the future is massive because if they hit on a player like Lance, they have a cheap elite weapon for 4 years. If they miss, they have a wasted pick and a stagnant offense. This is the strategic crossroads the team faces as they maneuver the middle rounds of the draft. They could also look at J. Michael Sturdivant from Florida, another raw but gifted athlete who impressed at the Combine. The depth of this receiver class allows for these dart throws, but the pressure to find a contributor is immense. The wide receiver coach, Antoine Randall L., would have his work cut out for him with any of these prospects. The front office has to weigh the immediate need for production against the long-term potential of these high-tier athletes. The decision will likely come down to how they view the development of the current roster. If they believe the young guys can hold the fort, they can afford to take a developmental project. If they are worried about a total offensive collapse, they might have to reach for a safer floor. The clock is ticking toward the draft, and the strategy is becoming clearer with every visit they host. Malik Benson might not have the imposing size of the other prospects on the radar, but his pure speed is something the Bears coaching staff is reportedly coveting. Standing at 6 feet tall, he ran a 4.37 40, and on film, he looks even faster. He is arguably one of the best pure deep threats in this entire class. In a normal draft year, Benson would be a lock for late day 2, but in this deep class, he could fall right into Chicago's lap in the 4th round. This represents a massive value opportunity for a team that just cleared $16 million in cap space. We are looking at a situation where the front office is trying to be efficient and smart rather than just loud and expensive. As a fan, it is hard to see a star like Moore leave, but the vision for a faster, younger, and more financially flexible roster is starting to take shape. Whether it is a project like Lance or a burner like Benson, the identity of this offense is changing before our eyes. It is an emotional roller coaster for the fans who have grown to love the reliability of the veterans. But the NFL is a business that rewards those who can adapt. We are entering a new era of Chicago football where speed and potential are the new currency. The front office is betting their jobs on the fact that they can replace elite production with elite athleticism. It is a bold strategy that could lead to a dynamic, explosive offense or a frustrating period of growing pains. As insiders, we are watching every move to see if the pieces actually fit the puzzle being built. The draft is going to tell us everything we need to know about the true direction of this franchise. Do you believe the Bears made the right move by trading more to save cap space and get younger? Or did we just lose the one reliable weapon we had? This is a defining moment for the leadership in Chicago, and the stakes could not be higher. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below because your voice matters in this community. Don't forget to subscribe for the most in-depth coverage of every move the Bears make this offseason. We will be here with the latest updates as they break from the facility. Thanks for watching and staying locked in with us.